My family loves to go canoeing up in North Wisconsin. Oh, I cherish those memories. It's so nice. The trees, the smells, the nature, and the animals. My family goes about every year. Well, for a while, I have two kids, 8 and 6. And so canoeing and going all day, traveling, it's not a good idea. Two small kids with the backpacks and the walking. So this past summer was the first time we went. My son is 8 years old, so he can carry the pack himself, and my daughter is 6 years old, so she can carry her school backpack. And then I had my big Duluth pack. And there was another family of 4 who went with us with their kids, and they brought the food, and I brought the clothes. So we got there, and when we got out there, we had to park, and we had to go to a parking area and walk. And there was maybe about a quarter of a mile, and then we could start going off up to different areas with the portage, which means that you have to carry the canoe. And we picked that one because there's not a lot of long portages. They have short ones. They have long portages, but not with 2 young kids. It's not a good idea. So we went to the short portages, and my family knows what to do, what's safe, what's not safe. So, and with the kids, they can go. They know what to do. So I left my Duluth pack, and I picked up the canoe, and I had to carry it all the way down the trail, which no big deal. Maybe, let's see, how many knots? Oh, I'm trying to think of the math. Oh, help me, how many knots? 1 knot equals 60, or I don't know, I'm not sure. Anyway, so it felt like 1/4 of a mile, carrying the canoe, and then I had to go all the way back to get my Duluth pack. I was worried about my back. I have to be careful, but some people can put their bags in the canoe, but I can't do that, so it's no big deal going back. And there was one awful day. We were on a big lake, and most of the time we canoe, it was awful. I was not really strict with my son about wearing the life jackets, but with my daughter, I really want her to wear the life jacket. And she was sitting in the middle. I was sitting in the back. My daughter was in the middle. My son was in the front. If my daughter was in the front, the boat would tilt back. So we wanted it to be level. So we had to have my son sit in the front to balance it a little bit more. Anyway, that day was really windy, and there were big waves crashing, and we were going around. And when we were ready to come back, it was the last day of the trip, and my son was in the front, I was in the middle, or I was in the back. And first my son was really excited to go out canoeing. He loves it, and he was so excited that he could do it. But he was normally used to like the small streams. He'd never really gone camping before. And so that day, back up a second. He was really tired. It was too much work, but yeah, of course, they were complaining. But that day was the worst day. We're canoeing, we couldn't go, but the wind was blowing at us, so we couldn't go straight into the wind. So we had to zigzag. So we had to go one side, and then we had to turn, and we had to go back again, and we had to keep doing that until we got back. But the weight kept shifting, so I wanted to talk my daughter to go into the front a little bit to balance the boat. But she wouldn't go, because I was afraid the boat would tip. It's not easy to tip, but still, I'm paranoid about that. And so it was hard to get them up there, so I had to keep tapping my daughter, and I had to keep asking her to move forward. And my son was getting mad, and I started screaming. We were all getting frustrated. And so I yelled at my son. I told him, I was like, "You're so lazy." But I was like, how could I say that to my son? You're so lazy. You gotta start canoeing. You gotta start paddling. And so finally we got her up there, and it was a big struggle to get there. Remember, if the water was clear that day, it would have taken about 2 or 3 hours. But that day, because of the wind, it took all day. And so we were getting stuck. We had to keep going. We had to keep zigzagging with the wind, and I was on my knees paddling, which hurt so bad, but I did not care. We had to keep paddling and zigzagging, and we didn't want to give up. If we were give up, we would have. So finally we gave up, and we had to hug the edge of the water until we finally arrived. And when we got back, we were all so tired. It was so awful. I went up to my son and I apologized. I was like, "I'm so sorry I said that to you. I was really frustrated." And he accepted my apology, but it still bothers me to this day. That was a really awful day. It was not fun at all.